All right, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a exploded view. On the screen right now is an exploded view of something. I'm not sure what it is, but you can see that it shows all the various parts of this particular product and kind of how they fit together. And this isn't obviously how it would look when it was actually assembled. It's actually showing it kind of disassembled, so you can see all the things you would normally be inside the product. And kind of shows you how you would put it together. So we want to do the same thing for the puzzle cube. So here's an example of that. And this one, once we get the exploded view done, we can actually also animate it. Now this one right here is actually not a very good exploded view, but it is kind of a fun animation. So that's our goal for today with this video, is to make an exploded view for the puzzle cube and then animate it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this file, and we're going to start fresh. So I'm going to go to New, and I want a standard IPN or presentation file. And it asks me what I want to use to create that. And so I want to get the puzzle cube assembly that we created that shows the cube solution. So I'm going to open that, and that places that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, and I'm going to start pulling it apart. So to pull it apart, I'm going to use the tweak components command. So I'll click on that, and I will choose a part. I think I'll click on this orange part. Now this menu over to the right has various options, like how long do you want the animation to play that shows this movement. You can also either move the part or rotate the part. We're just going to go with a move right now. Here there's 3 arrows around it that allow me to move in a particular direction. So if I click on this, it'll move this way, which I didn't really like. So I'm going to cancel that and I'm going to start over. So I want to move up first, doing like that. And maybe I'll also move it this direction. And I'll hit OK. And you'll see down here, it will show that I now have those 2 paths in my, what it calls the storyboard. So I will continue to do that. Move this one like that. Hit OK. Now, if I happen to want to go back and edit these things, I can double click on this. I can come in, I can edit, start time, end time, things like that. For the most part, I don't have a problem with anything I've done so far. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to tweak this component, move it this way and this way. And go in and tweak the yellow one. Move it this way and this way. And I don't really need to move the purple one, so I'm not going to. I might move it later when we do our animation. And so right now I have a nice exploded view. You can kind of see how these things all fit together. And so for your project, I'd go ahead and save this. So click save and save this in your iDrive with all your other puzzle cube parts. Call it exploded view or something like that. And then we'll hit save. All right, so I've now saved that as the exploded view. Right now, if I animate this, I can go back to the beginning, it's going to play each of these one at a time in order. And my default time was 2.5 seconds, so each of these is going to take 2.5 seconds to play. However, now that it's on the storyboard, we can change how long those times are by clicking here and adjusting the time. We can also change when they occur. So I can make all this happen at the same time by dragging all these and pulling them under here right now, right like this. They all start at 0 time and end at 5. And so now we could go out to our exploded view and do an animation of everything just kind of coming in and fitting together, which is kind of nice. But if I wanted to make it look even fancier, I could go and add some additional tweaks. In this case, I'll pick a part. Well, first of all, I think I'll go ahead and make the purple one move too, just because that will be more visually interesting than it not moving. So I'll just go ahead and bring it out this way and add that. You can see it comes over here. And at this point, that purple piece is taking half the time to move as everything else. I'm just going to double its time so that everything moves and gets there at the same time. And so that's what that looks like now. But I want to make it even more interesting, so I'm going to have this stuff rotate as it moves. So I'm going to go to tweak again. I'm going to click on a part, and I'm going to choose a rotate. And I'm going to just flip this sucker like that. We'll go and do the same thing for each of these other ones. And really, the amount that it moves doesn't matter that much. You could do it all 180 degrees or all 360 or just kind of random amounts. I'm kind of doing random amounts for most of this. I think I'll make this one 360 though, just because. And then I have one last one to get, and we'll rotate it about 180 there, like that. So now I have all these in here, and you can see that it's changed the icon. If I double click on this, it'll show the individual motions inside this path. So you can see there's one move, a second move, and there's the rotate. So once again, I'm going to move that over so it happens at the same time as the move, and I'm going to make the time longer so it takes the same amount of time as well. So then I'll come down to my next piece. I'll double click on that to see each individual component of its motion, and likewise make it take the same amount of time. All right, so I'm almost done here. And then we'll be able to see that final animation and see if it's interesting at all. All right, so here I'm going to go to what it looks like after it. It kind of looks a little bit messy, but we play it and everything kind of comes in like that. That's kind of fun. We could go to the beginning and play it forward and see it come apart. Unfortunately, some of my parts kind of look like they collide, and in the final position, they kind of block each other, but it's still a neat animation. This is why we won't use this view as our exploded view, but it's still a fun animation that we can show. So at this point, I would save this again, but this time I'm going to hit Save As, and name it something like Fancy Animation. Which I've actually already have one of those, so I'll just do a fancy animation too and save it. And that is it for this video.